Hello students, it is Mrs. Teichman here. As you guys know, we are making some quilts today using symmetry and geometric shapes. So here are some examples. I know, look at that, my editing skills are amazing. Now you guys are probably wondering, Mrs. Teichman, there's no way I can make a quilt that cool in only 2 hours. Well, trust me, you can, and I'm gonna show you how. Okay. So here we have my quilt. This is what I have so far. I'm gonna walk you guys through some of the touches, like this right here and this over here, and then we're gonna do the finishing touches together. Okay, first we're gonna talk about how I did this layering technique. So what you wanna do is when you look at your sloppy copy, you're gonna have your sloppy copy on hand, and when you're looking at it, you're gonna wanna measure how long and how big your shapes are. Now I measured this already. This is 4 inches, 4 inches, and 4 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this green sheet of paper and I'm gonna draw out a 4-inch triangle, and I'll be right back. Another thing, I'm gonna show you guys a life hack here. Okay, so we all know that we're gonna be making symmetry, right? So that means that no matter what, there's gonna be 2 of each shapes because you need one, in order for one side to match the other. So a quick way to be able to get 2 shapes or multiple shapes cut at once is if you fold your sheet in half. That's right, line up the edges, and then we're gonna draw our 4-inch triangle like this. Okay. Okay. Got a triangle, let's cut it out. And would you look at that, we got 2 identical triangles. Okay, this is the first step. The next step, now since we all know that this is 4 inches, right? So in order for us to be able to layer it, we need the next triangle to be a little bit smaller. So what I did is I measured 1 inch off the next one. So if this is 4 inches minus 1 inch, it's gonna be 3 inches long. All right, let's measure that out on a different sheet of paper. And remember, we are folding these sheets of paper in half in order to be able to get 2 identical shapes at minimum at once. Okay, so we're gonna take our ruler. Okay, now we're gonna cut it out. And just like that, we have 2 identical 3-inch triangles. Now if we look, compare, it's starting to look like the demo, right? Look at that, we got some layering going on. Oh, okay, so now that we've got a 4-inch triangle, a 3-inch triangle, can you guys guess what we're gonna do next? That's right, a 2-inch triangle. Okay, so now I think we're gonna take our, let's do yellow paper, and let's draw out our 2-inch triangle. Okay, Pultie's okay. 2 inches. Paper. Okay. We're gonna cut this out. Now, we got our 1-inch triangle, or 2-inch triangle. We got our 3-inch triangle. And next, now we got our 4-inch triangle. Now 3 is the minimum number of layers that you can do that it's really gonna look cool. But if you wanna keep going and add more, that is totally fine. Now what we can do is we can start layering it up and making it look cool. So now we could add the triangles like this, like I have in my demo. I have the big green one, and then I have the blue, and then the yellow, and the green. Now if you guys aren't feeling this, you could even move your triangles like that. And look at that, it looks like a mountain range. Oh my goodness, do you guys like the mountains? Do you like going outdoors? I love going outside. You could even do something like this, where you flip the triangle upside down. Then you take this one and put it right there and meet it up. Oh, look, you got a really cool shape right there. And you could add the triangle even sideways if you want to. You could mimic that. You could do that. You could even flip it to the side like this. You could do so many different things. Okay, so I was looking at my piece and I'm thinking, this looks cool, but it's kind of missing something down here. I feel like there should be something. So I'm gonna do this cool little technique to get some cool shapes and patterns to get a border on the bottom, and I'm gonna take you guys with me. Okay, so I'm gonna go with purple because I like how purple and green go together. I'm going to measure about how long it reaches from here. I want the purple to match the length of the green. So all the way down here, I'm gonna take my pen and I'm gonna make a mark right there and I'm gonna cut the paper. Okay, now I have it the length of the paper. Now, I don't need all of this paper. That is so much paper. I don't need it. I'm gonna cut it again to make some room. We have our folded in half piece of paper, right? It is folded in half. Now watch what happens when we take this and we start cutting in some geometric shapes. Do you remember what those are? Okay, what, you guys guess what kind of geometric shape I'm gonna use? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Too late, triangle. I'm sure somebody thought it though. Okay, so I'm just gonna start cutting out some triangles, okay?
Now I know it's not super fun to watch, but I promise the end result makes it look super cool. Okay, here we go. Now,
you guys probably know what's coming next, but look at this. Wow, we got a super cool repeating pattern. So now that I have this super cool geometric pattern, I could, if I wanted to, cover up the whole thing, but I'm not gonna do that. Maybe what I'm thinking is I wanna cut it right down the middle. I know we just did all this hard work to get this really cool shape, but hear me out. This is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. Heartbreaking, I know. Now, this is too big for the paper, right? So I'm gonna cut this down. 2 little patterns. Now what, oh, you can't even see what I'm talking about. Okay, now we got our 2 repeating patterns. It is symmetrical, right? Like when we put it up, it's gonna be the exact same. Like if we fold this page in half, is it gonna be the exact same? I think so. Now notice here how when I cut out these shapes and I layered it on top of the green, look at where these triangles are coming from, using the negative space at these places. So you can think about maybe cutting out different shapes and then layering that cutout on top of other colors to get even more shapes in your artwork. You can really play around with that folding in half and start cutting in some geometric shapes. I'm so excited to see what you guys are making, and let's get creating.